What's up, y'all? It's your girl Mandy. We gotta talk, bugs. Let me tell you. So y'all know, well, I didn't tell a lot, but if you catch my bits and pieces of my lives or whatever I'm doing, this story is going with the unknowing and faith. Even down to the last minute when there's no, like, people would give up with no hope, I still had that faith to where I went to sleep last night. My ticket's been paid. The rental was paid for the week, but, you know, they have to have a down payment deposit, whatever. I want y'all to hear these different levels and different stories and perspectives that you get it from, okay? So last night, you know, people telling me I'm crazy because how are you going to go to Florida and you're going to be at an airport, you don't have food, you don't have a car, you don't have... I said, number one, I have a food stamp card. Number two, I've already got the ticket there to my destination. I'm not worried about it because I've been going in the unknowing for the last 4 years. Yeah, I've had trials and tribulations. Nobody's perfect, to where it's like I had to learn a lot of mistakes 4 or 5 times. 6 sometimes. To where I got a lesson from the universe today, but it's also a lesson to evolve people too, even myself. To where you guys listen. I was on my way to Detroit. No, let me rewind. Let's go back. I wake up this morning. My son comes and wakes me up. Boom. I already had, that's for the rental and then my time in Florida. The day I'm leaving. So I'm up early. I get a lot of things done and I leave to where I had about a half-hour gap when I got there. Maybe a little more if I would have... No, it would have been less because I got there earlier. It was supposed to be like, I think 17 minutes, but had almost a half hour because, you know, I was kind of... I call it hydroplaning, but let's keep to the story. So I wake up to that, and I'm so grateful, thankful. I tell them, and so I had to set up this rental. Now, when I called for the rental 2 different times, they said $420 down, and then $65 for the week. Okay. They said you can only pay with a credit card here, and that's for most of Orlando's airport. Only credit card. So, you know, the odds are getting even a little different, but I'm still believing. And my son's like, dang, Mom. So you're still going to go? I'm like, yeah, I'm believing in the unknowing. I have no choice. Like, unless I want to keep in the same cycle or never grow or learn through the duality of life, to where I make that duality, most of them, there's always I always come compromising, open-minded to an answer. That makes total sense. Into where I grow, evolve, and I keep going and going and going. To where, you guys, something popped in my head, God, today, and said, dang, you got Enterprise up here. So I was like, dang, you know what? They might take a debit card, I could pay for it all, and they could put it in the reservation for me because I called Florida twice today to the airport, y'all. And I could not get an answer for nothing. I'm just waiting at home to where I had to let it go and keep moving. Because if we sit too long on the same thing and overthink it or keep trying, we allow it to mess up our day because the negative vibration overbalances because it's like you're up against a brick wall. But really all you have to do is just let it fall and come back how it's supposed to. So I call up there and I say, hey, I have a flight going out today. Is there any way that you can help me and give me a price on the rental for a week in Florida? Oh, sure. This is a very nice lady. She put in all the information and she said, your total will be $282. And this is the reservation. She'll send it to my email. But I gotta, I'll pay when I get there in Florida today. I was like, well, you're my angel, thank you, blah, 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 blah. Like, for real, y'all, because these people are. To where, you guys, I set up the rental, so when I got to Florida at the airport, Enterprise, or I take a shuttle, I don't know, everything was happening with the flow, but I hadn't even gone into the email to check anything, the ticket, anything. And So I get ready to go. I get on the highway. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. I get on this highway and my windows are down. I love Go With Flow. Well, I also don't have AC, but you can see it's beautiful. Like, there's a breeze. It's been like this all day. So I had my windows down, not all the way, but I had them cracked. To where this is a 2-hour drive, y'all. North, I had to go to Detroit. To where I was gonna just leave my car in the parking lot in Detroit there, and believe it's still gonna be there when I got back. To where I started driving the highway, y'all. I'm gonna tell you what, I've always told y'all, I always hear noise before voices. Everybody is different, and some will understand this, some won't, and some will understand a certain level, or some will just, whatever you want to believe, I don't care. It's a never ending story. So here we go. It's been 3 or 4 years since I traveled. No, 4, since I've been back to Florida. And I've been on this journey for preparing and believing and showing people that, I went from making money and having all the material back in the day to money is just what, you need it to pay bills and all that, but people got to understand, when you literally align yourself with God, the universe, or get rid of some beliefs or whatever, and go with the true natural flow, everything will work. Even when the duality comes in, like it came in today with me. Let's go back to the drive. I'm on the highway, I hear all the noises from the wind, you got barricades in the middle of the road, you got construction going on, you got semis with gas or some of them cars are pressing brakes, some are hitting that little line that when you fall asleep or you're on your phone and you go over it, it vibrates your whole freaking vehicle and you wake up. I'm hearing all this, guys. My windows are down. All energies and vibrations to where I had to be so strong. It goes back to when me and my twin, we went to Cincinnati over 16 years ago. Or no, we went to go to Ohio. I'm sorry. Went to go to Kentucky to meet a couple of our family members for the first time. Me and my twin, we took a road trip. My son was like 6 months old and her son was like 2. So we over there, we go on this we're going on the Cincinnati Bridge. Mind you, we're both sipping, we're both vibing to music, but you know what? Out of nowhere, you know how like a traffic jam comes, or you hear all these brakes squealing because people are trying to go too fast or do this and do that. To where me and her were on that bridge, and to where I was in my traffic today on my way to Detroit at least 4 times. To where when I focused, because the thing with me today, I didn't go with no music. I just wanted nature. I wanted the whispers of the earth. So I hear all the vibration, negativity, like it's all like darkness because you're just hearing all the things going on and you don't know what could possibly happen because cars are going off the road or they're stopping in the middle of traffic. This one car was leaking some gas or something, plus smoking some black stuff, and there's 3 lanes right there, people going to the right and left like a fork. To where it was like, you guys, I had a fear of flying. For years. To where every time I go in there, I just freak out. But I make it. To where, you guys, all the vibrations and the negativity, where I'm in the middle of this drive and... Hold on. I respect people. I don't put them on the camera. They're walking. But, to where in my brain, in my body, this body, this 3D form, the vibrations and the noise and the wind and everything was off course. It was over elevated. But not in an over elevated good way, not like an over happy way. It was over elevated, like, man, this is just going to be a disaster. To where a few times on that 70, 80 miles an hour I was going with traffic, in my head I had to say, ah! That's what I had to do on the Cincinnati Bridge. Because when I have no space, I don't know, with, what is it? Vibrations and energy, or some kind of centrifugal force, some kind of something. Just follow me, guys. To where, you guys, it said 7 minutes from the airport to where I had my first space. Like I had my first, whoo, I can breathe, because when you're going by energy and vibrations only, like you hear that bird over there or whatever that, no, it might be a woodpecker, I don't know. But you hear everything in one accord, and then you hear that woodpecker. Actually, it's kind of cute. It's like when you're going with the flow. I got 7 minutes away, and I seen the first plane. And before I used to be like, oh my God, oh, you guys, to where, you know what it was? The fear, bondage, anything broke from me, to where I dealt with the energy and vibrations of the road for 2 hours. That was not good today. To where, you know what? When I seen that plane, oh my God, I was like, that's heaven. I literally pictured in my head some people have a laptop in their lab or earbuds on, to where that was so peaceful. You got the whole world shut out, and I'm on a brutal ass Monopoly Checkers Road highways here, because you know you can look at life how you want, a box of chocolates, whatever. Every moment, every dimension, every level, every perspective is different. Okay, guys, so here, let me keep going. I was like, yeah, and everything was going smoothly, to where I didn't even pay attention to time. I didn't even pay attention, because I just knew I was gonna make it there. To where I didn't just go park my car to some random ass spot. I went to this $23 parking a day. It's like, you know what? God's gonna provide, and I know I trust it'll be safe out anywhere. But like, let me just do it right. It'll be here for a week. To where I even had a battery, a full battery charger thing. That it was still on low, because it was pouring rain last night, and when I ran out my car, it got stuck in the door, and I didn't go back to where it's at home charging now. But as I see, and it felt so much peace, and that was heaven to me. I don't think I have peace now, like on a day at home, isolated, or being pure, or being trying, because nobody's perfect. I just accept life and the duality, and I always try to make a solution out of even the negative duality. That's just how I am. Before, I used to be so mad, depressed, cuss people out. Because when I got there, you guys, when I got to the airport, I parked my car, and I did one smart thing. I took a picture of the freaking zone and the letter I was in at the airport, because that place is huge. To where when I got inside there, y'all, I was like, wow, even the airport's heaven right now. Until I heard all these babies crying and people going crazy, but you guys, oh my God. I get there, and they told me they just shut the door 5 minutes ago. I'm like, huh? You guys know what? I'm in a line, and I had to go back home to get my Mr. Potato Head, because like that's what I was gonna hold to on the plane, because I had fear. To where Mr. Potato Head saved me, because I was in that line, and when they said I just missed the door by 5 minutes, I told the lady, I said, can I please run and try to make it? Please, I believe I can make it to where, I don't know, to like you're walking half a block or something, I see another guy, and I'm like, hey, could you tell me if it's really worth me running to go make this? I just felt something special about him, because I got a mask, y'all. People always try to run or hide or laugh or do whatever for me, but because they don't know the truth, they just assume, and it's really no teeth with good smelling breath. Y'all, to where when the guy told me no, I was like, okay, what do I do to reschedule? Do I have to pay more money? What do I have to do, right? Hold on. You guys, to where the tears just flew down. And it wasn't even like the old me going back to being mad at me for being late. It wasn't even that. It was the tears from the hard fought. Hold on. From the hard fought preparation and wins and losses here, to where Florida's always been paradise to me, or just even getting away. I don't care about the drive. To where the drive today, I've always been on, it's always been like that with vibrations. Because my son, when we went to Michigan one time, dude, it was just the song he played, the rapper, with negative vibrations, plus the car, one of the tires were bad, and you could hear the vibrations from that. I could feel in here. Hold on one second. to where the negative vibrations would fuck up my brain, and I had to literally like shut that turn that music off. He's like, Mom, I listen to your music. Yeah, I'm like, dude, son, it's nothing to do with you. It's to do with the vibration of the music. I think it was like the young boy with some kind of really like, he was really mad in that rap. This was a few years ago. To where I haven't even understood some things till today. I've seen everything. From the time I leave my sanctuary at home with my pure heart and pure soul, but nobody's perfect, but there is duality out here, and I accept that. And today was one of them days. It wasn't that, oh my God, it was such a bad day. No. It was one of them days that I had to come back for another day to teach the world. And not just that, I had to learn from it too, because guys, when they told me that, and I started, dude, when I say that my grown ass, the tears were flowing, Mr. Potato Head was saving my tears from me wiping snot. Like, I was just like, but the old me would have been like self-sabotage, or you're always late, you always fuck shit up, but it wasn't that at all. It's going with the flow of the universe, because when you're spiritual, you're not going by time. To where even like when I started driving, you guys, and I called it when I talked to somebody when I got back, I called it, because I was like, you know what, my car hydroplaned there. He's like, shut up, you can only do that at rain. I said, well, I'm going to explain my hydroplane. How a car glides and hydroplanes in rain. Mine did it with air, because what happened was, I'm in the middle of that traffic, and if I was going 60, I could feel like a little bulge. It was something, 3 out of 4 tires were at like 100%, okay? So when I go slow, you can feel like where the bulge is, or whatever I got going on with that tire that I didn't realize before all this, until this trip. To where when I was hydroplaning, I would have to go 10 over. Okay, so let's say if the speed limit was 70 or 60, I would have to go 70, 75, where I felt I was hydroplaning, because I did not feel that fourth bad tire. Or I'm not gonna say bad, but I could feel every vibration or movement. It's like it has a bulge somewhere. It's like a bulge, bulge, somewhere. But that still messed up the vibration and energy until I call it hydroplane, because centrifugal force, whatever it is, to where the car was going fast enough that where it wasn't slow, and the ground wasn't feeling that bulge, where it was. Just some of y'all gonna understand, some ain't. I don't care. Just learn from this, y'all, because I am too. To where all the computers, so when I left there, I was like, I know everything happens for it. Well, no, when I was at the register, I'm like, I know everything happens for a reason, but like, I wasn't really supposed to leave today, and I don't understand this reason, and this one hurts. Y'all, I look like a big ass kid with the damn. I was literally just taking Mr. Potato Head to just squeeze tight. He might have came back with one ear or one leg or something, because I held him so tight, like I did my daughter, to where Mr. Potato Head would have been sitting next to me if he had his own chair by the time I got there, because it was a whole other perspective, and I can't wait. Not telling y'all any of my thing, and you guys are gonna see, but this is part 1, because there's so much more. So like, I got on the highway and told me to call. Something told me to, because in my small town, these places close early. It's not like Miami, Orlando, 24/7, blah, blah, blah. Something told me to call Enterprise. I call Enterprise, guys. Like, I had to make sure I got out of the traffic at the airport first. To where he had 2 customers, and he's like, what's your name? What's your last name? What's your flight? He says he can't find me, and I was like, dang, I heard the lady, like, put the reservation in. She was very kind. She took her time. She asked all the questions, and I did too, because I got stuck in Miami 3 years ago with my daughter, because I didn't know I had to pay a deposit for a rental car, guys. This 3D world, 3D form stuff is hard. You know why it's hard for people that are spiritual or go with the flow or have a lot of electricity in them? Because every freaking computer registers credit card things you put your stuff in. Even if the ATM took 3 times to take that $100 bill. I need my own island, but today, you guys, I was like, where's my future person? Look, when I went to go, they told me to scan this freaking barcode to reschedule my flight, and I'm like, is it gonna cost me anything? Like, are you guys gonna? They're like, well, just ask them to waiver it or whatever. So waiver it and slide it over. That's what the lady said. So I do a chat. I go into the, because I called them and it said 68 minutes. So I had them in my headphone in my ear. And I had that going on. It said 68 minutes, but like 5 minutes later it said 73. But I still stayed on, y'all, in case because I went on this chat for my airline. And I asked, and I was doing all these different things, and it said, I did a screenshot. It said $35 to switch your ticket to the next flight. Because I only had to change going there, because coming back, it's not time for that yet. To where you guys, I clicked on it, there was no site for it. The lady up front told me I had to pay $127 for the flight to go back to go to Florida when I do go. I'm not telling Joe. And then I come back on the 11th, that's still on that ticket, to where, y'all, she printed me out an itinerary. Checked me in for tomorrow, but it said I was on the plane. She goes to try to delete it, the first ticket that's round trip. I'm like, maybe you can't because it's round trip. You're just trying to, I just paid $127 for a flight to go back down, to go down there. When I got a round trip ticket, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, for $98. To where I did, I went and paid it, to where she don't know what's going on. I already paid it, you know, they always get your money. To where these places is nothing but money, because everything you go try to do to that $35, I couldn't get on no site. They said they don't do that. To where I screenshot it. Someone told me to do that. To where I'm like, what the fuck is going on? To where you guys, I did what I had to do. I didn't go off on nobody. I'm like, this just really hurts. But I just want you guys to know, like, it's going to be okay. I know everything happens for a reason, but God knows I've been trying to leave. So I didn't even want to get back on that highway. The hydroplaned my tire back. I didn't want to get on there to even come back. But I did, of course, and I made it. To where I even made sure, even though my son's got his own place or whatever, he had some food to start it out with. To where it's still in his car, and there was milk and everything, to where something else happened, and I'm like, see? And people never understand. And then people have to lose people to understand, and I'll be damned. Because y'all could be like, oh, Mandy's mean, or how could she do this to her son? No, y'all, my sons were my ride or die, they still are, but I detached with love. I had to. We're only going to keep getting hurt, and until they have the understanding. You guys might be mad for each other for 10 years. You know, risk your whole life to raise your children. That's my ride or die. So where as you get older, you still die. Until you get it and put yourself 100% first. No matter what you do, it's not going to work out. To where we have an understanding, and we're good, because, like, I was like, see, son, you have to evolve. I have to evolve. I have to put myself first. And any negative energy that comes in my sanctuary, it doesn't mean it's you. It could be just a negative spirit from work. It's just like me floating in air, and then boom, you know, an arrow comes to pop it. One little piece of distraction will fuck it up, the flow. The flow has to always go the same way. Same synchronicities, same vibration, same energy. To where I did call. Okay, so the guy said he did. Oh, this is what the guy told me. He's like, there is no, I don't see you in the system at all. To where about 10 minutes after that call, maybe a little bit longer, because I had Googled them and they would have been closed by the time I stepped there in person. To where I had time to go in my email, and I had my whole ticket number, itinerary number, everything was set up. Everything was set up. To where I thought that was the reason, because I didn't want to get stranded in Orlando, and then they go to charge me $500-$600, because, you know, it's going to be what, Friday? Oh, no, it's going to be another day. To where I'm going to be stranded there. So yeah, God looked out for me. To where this guy, the reservation was been ready. Listen to me, y'all. To where the first time he said it wasn't, so I thought that could have been the reason. Yo, yeah, God saved me, of course. But God's always looking out, no matter what. It's always for a positive reason, but we don't see it at the time. But I know without a shadow of a doubt now in my life that that's what happens. Somehow, some way. To where I was like, at the airport, y'all, I was crying so hard that the glasses I couldn't even read, like, trying to call them, it said 68 minutes and 72, and then I'm doing it on this little chat, and it says you can, actually, I fixed my ticket on my reservation, and all I had to do was switch a date. for the car. One date and just press save. Same price. For the car rental. That'll be ready. But now, I have to go, when I get back home, and make sure that this itinerary that she printed out, and it shows I paid. And she said she checked me in. Anything with just technology, period, before I even had to do all this stuff, it just never works out. It's just like people who has overpowering darker energy or light energy or whatever you want to call it, evil, devil, spirit, anything. It's so many different levels and so many different reasons that everything's going to work out. I'm going to show y'all with actions, still going through all this and still having belief and because these were just little moments today, but these moments were so many dimensions, levels, down to the drive, down to everything. To where you could change it all. You can make it go straight, where it did, to where if I get distracted, even if it's a GPS come through, boom, and it hits, man. We're not insane or crazy. Yeah, we are insane or crazy for a beautiful, beautiful souls and days where people don't understand because they're still intertwined with that one negativity one that comes at them every day that used to stop me for years. Could be fear, doubt, anything. To where you guys, I had, when I left town, I said, I see you, bro. I see you. Wait, okay. Like, I knew I was going to be on time. I knew everything was right and ready to where I got, and I cried like a baby. But I also grew because, like, I would self-sabotage myself back in the day. But if I went through all these healing stages and I understand the duality of life and different things on different level, so no matter what comes at me, I can't preach it out here and then not do what I preach. I have to go through all these things. I keep telling y'all, leaders, you're wondering why you're going through this and this and this, and then like, hey, what's going on with you today, God, or a higher power, or there's something blocking, or there's something we have to learn, or there's something we have to teach. That's all it is. It's not you're having bad luck for that day. You got to show people that we're going to keep going no matter what, and there's always a way. MacGyver, that show always taught me there's always a way, even though it was so corny at the end. But there's so much more, y'all. But that's just a little bits and pieces. Have a wonderful day. Everything's going to work out. Keep going. Keep believing. Even when there's times I get so impatient. Like today, I was like, you know what? I almost want to just... nope, I got to keep going and keep being that leader and keep learning. And this soul is getting even more powerful with understanding, love, and grace. With duality that God has, higher power has on all of us. Part 2, when it's supposed to. Have a wonderful night, y'all.